Uh, Mars, the beautiful red planet. I've talked about the rovers multiple times, but something I haven't talked about is the actual landers themselves. So, where does our story start? It starts in the 1960s. The Cold War was high. Space race was still going on, but towards the end, the U.S. obviously went with the moon landing. Now it was time to go to Mars, and the U.S. successfully did so with their Mariner spacecraft. But the first actual landers will not come until 1971 with the Soviet Union. They launched the identical Mars 2 and 3 orbiters, which had identical Mars 2 and Mars 3 landers. Both of them on top had the Prop M rover. The Mars 2 crashed onto the surface. However, Mars 3 successfully landed. However, this is the only image it could actually send. Now, a lot of people believe this is just like static, like the camera glitch. But according to the scientists, there was like a major dust storm going on. So, how I interpret this image, that this black stuff is the sky and this white stuff is the surface of Mars. Because when Mars dust storms happen, it can like make the sky really dark. So that's how I interpret that image. The Mars 3 was considered successful landing. However, it failed after about 2 minutes. They tried Mars 6, and of course that failed. All the Soviet missions on Mars failed. Now, the U.S., uh, in 1975, they sent the identical Viking twins. Both of these were like Mars, the Mars 2, Mars 3, except this time they actually worked. Viking 1 worked from 1976, 1980, and had its final transmission in 1982. Viking 2 operated from 1976 to 78, had its final transmission in 1980. And they're still there today, and Mars would be pretty dormant until 1997 with the Mars Pathfinder, which would deploy, of course, the Sojourner rover in July 1997. However, go deactivated in that same year. Wouldn't be till 1999 when NASA tried sending the Mars Polar Lander. It's unknown whether or not it's still intact because during its descent phase, they lost communication with the lander, and to this day, it has not been found. It's not known whether it survived and it's just out there waiting to be discovered or it completely crashed. But most people say it crashed, but we will never know. 2001, they actually did try sending a lander and a rover. The lander did not have a name, but they did have the name for the rover, which is Marie Curie, which was the actual spare for Sojourner. However, they only sent the 2001 Mars Odyssey, which is still in orbit today. 2003, the UK and EU wanted to get involved, so they sent the Beagle 2 lander. However, it never contacted back towards Earth, so the mission was a failure. It wasn't until 2015 when it was actually discovered to still be intact. As you can see, 4 of its pedals actually deployed, and the one that I believe did not deploy was the golden one in the back with the actual like hand, like the actual arm that can like scoop up stuff. 2004, the Spirit and Opportunity landed on Mars. Both of their landers being named after space disasters, like Columbia, which actually happened in 11 months prior to their landing, and Challenger, which happened in 1986. 2008, they launched the Phoenix lander. Phoenix and the Mars Polar Lander are very similar, but they landed on different sides of the polar system on Mars. Phoenix operated till 2008, about November, and it wasn't until 2010 when its mission ended after discovering that one of its panels had completely fell off. Like 2016, the EU wanted to get back on track after Beagle 2, so they sent the Schiaparelli EDM, which was actually supposed to land near where Opportunity was at the time, but it crashed completely on Mars. And after some investigations, the EU and NASA used the Opportunity rover to try and find Schiaparelli EDM. They never did, and just a few months later, the crash site just completely disappeared. In 2018, NASA sent their InSight lander, which is basically like an advanced version of Phoenix. It operated till 2022 after major dust storms covered its solar panels. The most recent lander was in 2021 with China's Tianwen-1, which deployed the Zhurong rover I made an actual incorrect statement in my Mars rover video saying Zhurong was still in operation, but you can clearly tell the MRO, or the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, showed that Zhurong had not moved in months. So, and it was actually declared that its mission was over in May 2022. And yeah, that's pretty much it.